let's get into it. We're talking about how to turn Instagram DMs into actual email revenue. So if you're using Manychat and you're not intentionally building your email list and monetizing it, David and I are going to explain today why you're leaving money on the table. So today is going to be pretty tactical. We're going to walk away knowing exactly how to connect again what's happening via Instagram to Kit and make this flywheel convert. And so we want this to be interactive and keep the chat open. I just do want to call out, I'm seeing in the chat here, if everybody wants to do one more technical thing for me, there's a little drop down in the chat. Some of you might be speaking only to hosts and panelists. There's a little button that says everyone, and we want everyone to see your lovely comments, not just me and David. And so feel free to change that to everyone if you don't see that there. But I'll pass it over to David to introduce himself here.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Shiv. And then another thing too, we're going to have a Q&A at the end. So if you see the Q&A bar at the bottom, make sure to add your questions there. They might get lost in the chat. We got a lot of people. But so excited to talk with everybody today. I saw all the ones in the chat. This is your first Manychat community event. Thank you so much for joining. My name is David. I have been at Manychat since 2021. So I've seen this company in several different stages. But I've talked to so many different creators, and I know that email in particular is something that maybe a lot of creators are know they need to do, they haven't gotten around to it, or they feel overwhelmed when they start, or maybe they have a whole bunch of emails that they is collecting dust, they don't know how to monetize it. So I'm super excited to learn from Shiv today and for us to talk about that with you. And yeah, just a little bit about me in general. I live in San Diego, so I saw some people in San Diego in the chat. So we're basically neighbors, huge fans of AI videos, golf, and beach volleyball. So yeah, if you without further ado, I do want to turn it over to Shiv, the absolute email expert.
David, I do want to know what it means to be a fan of AI videos. Like, what does that mean?
It means I love making AI videos. I just made one about me fighting a robot in my office. So if that qualifies as being a fan, then I would
That's
say yes.
incredible. All right, next ManyChat Kit webinar, we're gonna have an intro video. David will design the AI video. It'll be incredible. It's gonna be awesome. Well, great to meet you all. My name is Shiv. I lead our education here at Kit. The slide says I have 10 plus years of experience in marketing technology. It's a fancy way of saying I've worked for or in, I feel like almost every email tool under the sun, having hosted workshops for over 20,000 different creators and small businesses. But I chose to be here at Kit because I love creators. I love people doing what they love most online, making money doing that. And so excited to dive in here today and chat all about how you can leverage ManyChat to go ahead and drive over to your revenue using email. So just want to actually start with a poll of our own here. I wanted to start with asking, where do you currently, when somebody triggers your ManyChat automation in Instagram, where are you right now sending them to? Where are you sending them to? Is it to a freebie, to a sales page, to a link in bio? Use the chat to let me know. Where do you send them right now? Straight to DM conversation. I want to understand how you all are currently thinking about this. And as you're typing, here's why I'm asking. A lot of creators build really good DM flows that just end in a link, right? And that link goes to something that doesn't build long-term value. And so if your DM flow ends without capturing an email address, you are restarting the relationship every single time. And so I wanted to understand where we are as a group here, seeing some people saying to a freebie, to an email submission form, to our YouTube channel, to a blog article. Yeah, okay. This is good to understand. To sometimes to our product links. I'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm actually pretty specifically interested in the people that are saying a product links versus doing it to say like straight to a freebie, somewhere to collect that email address down. Okay, my next question for you all. What do you want email to do for you? Right? This is not what you think it should do. What do you want it to do? Like, do you want it to generate more sales? Is it to launch better? Is it to sell evergreen? Is it to build deeper relationships, drive traffic to content that you own? I'm seeing overwhelmingly everybody saying to make more money, sales. I want to sell evergreen. I want to drive more revenue. Yeah. Okay, great. Then you're in the right place. Good thing that's exactly what we prepared in this presentation. Yeah, that's I want to show you in a second here how email is going to help you leverage that significantly more than say direct organic social will. And so that's good that's the feeling that we have in the room. The last thing I want to know before we get tactical is just give me a number on a scale of 1 to 10. How confident do you feel in your Instagram to email sales funnel right now? From a scale of 1 to 10, I'm seeing some comments about my voice being low. Is everybody seeing is can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, much better. Thank you, Shiv.
Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through, seeing a decent count of low numbers, one, one, two, couple sixes, couple eights. Skylar, I see you on that eight. I think Genevieve has got everyone beat right now at the nine. And Ty at the -1. You might have the lowest count, but I think you're in good company here. Okay, well, let's go ahead and dive in here. I think I have a good understanding of who's in the room. Let's I want you to picture this. You have Instagram, you have TikTok, you have each one of these social platforms that you have is a train. And all these trains are moving, they're generating attention. Some might be faster than others, some go viral, right? But here's the question: where are those trains going? If every train is just running around randomly, you don't have a system, you have activity. And activity might feel productive in business, but it's not predictable. It's not predictable revenue, as you all said that you want to be able to generate. We need a station where all this traffic can go. One consistent place where
Shiv, we lost your sound for a second. No. Mm-mm.
give me 1 second here.
Yes, perfect. Works. You're back.
Okay, great. Yeah, just let me know if something's going in and out there. Apologies. But
No worries.
I guess what I'm trying to say here is Instagram is great for gaining attention. It gets you seen, it helps you go viral, it gets you fans. But when it comes to revenue, email is the engine. Because when somebody gives you their email address, they are raising their hand. They're saying, "Hey, I want to hear from you again." It's a deeper level of intent than a follow. So if social is at the top of the funnel here, email is the engine of that revenue. Where does ManyChat fit into that? Of course, ManyChat is the bridge between those two, right? ManyChat is the bridge. Without ManyChat, you're hoping that people would simply click on a link in your bio. With ManyChat, you are helping guide them. So again, social creates the moment, ManyChat captures the intent, and email compounds that relationship, right? Let me get a little bit more specific here and tell you 3 reasons why you would want to prioritize that relationship building aspect via email. Now, number one policy change, right? One algorithm tweak, one random flag, and your entire reach can disappear. This is pretty typical in the creator economy. When you build on social, you're building on borrowed land. You don't control the rules, you don't control the distribution. Email is your insurance in that. It's an asset that you control. If something changes tomorrow, if your account gets shut down, you have a direct line to your people, right? And that alone is enough reasons to build it. Lauren said it simply here: get them on your email list, because you never know when a platform might shut down. You never know and oftentimes creators don't get a warning, right? For these things, the creators who survive long terms are the ones who move their audiences to somewhere they own rather than on rented land in social. And that's why Lauren, for example, has prioritized building a 25,000 subscriber email list where she can have that one-to-one direct relationship with her audience. That brings me to my second point here. Even if you're not shut down, this control has massive revenue advantages. It's one thing to have followers, but it's another thing to own the relationship, right? Followers scroll, but subscribers, like I said, are choosing you, raising their hand. When somebody moves from Instagram, right, via the DMs, via ManyChat into your email list, they're raising their hand, and you don't have to change your content. Right? You don't have to change your consistency, but suddenly your reach might tank because of algorithm shifts, right? That's the difference between rented and owned land. On social, you're hoping that your post appears on someone's feed, even if they follow you. On email, you're choosing when to send and who receives what content from you. And depending on the study that you read, it's said that email consistently drives around $36 to $42 back for every $1 spent in ROI. Social typically sits a little closer to $2 to $3 per $1 spent. It's a massive difference. And done on top of that, the email conversion rates, the propensity of somebody clicking a link is quite a bit higher on email than social. Again, that reason is because the inbox is intentional and scrolling is passive. And that's a good reason why Gannon has driven $50,000 in launches for his business. Now, the last thing I want to cover here, the last case I have for email is depth, right? With email, you can learn about your audience. You can track what each individual person clicks, what they ignore, what they buy, what they care about. Like the algorithm is all about guessing, but in the email inbox, it allows you to show data and take action on that data, right? It's why Ali Abdal said he'd rather have 5,000 email subscribers rather than 5 million social followers, right? There is a massive, massive difference between somebody who's just heard about you and your most loyal customer and everything in between, right? Somebody who just met you for the first time deserves a very, very different message than somebody who has bought from you for the third time. And so it's all about when we're thinking about email, I just said, tracking the links that people are clicking on, the emails they're opening, the way they're engaging with you, we can create these pathways where we can truly send the right message at the right time to the right person. That behavior is gold. And because you know what somebody's done next, you could decide what they should see next. Now, I know what you might be thinking. It sounds great to have 500,000 subscribers, or even 500 subscribers is a lot of subscribers, but how do you do that at scale? Well, let's show that case what that looks like. So again, that journey, like I talked about, starts at Manychat. It starts at Manychat. I'm going to bring David back here. He's actually going to show you a couple of examples of how Ali Abdal goes ahead and focuses on taking his social audience and then converts that audience over to email using Manychat.
Let's go. Thank you so much, Shiv.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so as we were like doing this partnership and wanted to do this webinar, we were super excited and we're like, man, I hope we can really find some examples. And as we were listing all the people that are super, super successful with Kit, it was just amazing to go to their Instagram and see that they have all these mini chat automations set up and just how well like these platforms pair together. So, the person you said that you saw that just made $5 million from his email subscriber list, this is the exact flow that he uses. I just went to his Instagram and started an automation. So all you have to do is make sure you follow him, and then he sends you a link, and then you can see he drives you to a page that says start the course, put your email in, and then you're good to go, right? So just like a lot of you said, hey, I'm driving to a freebie. I'm kind of giving a lead magnet, whatever that case may be. You can do this, and this man has made $5 million, 500,000 email subscribers. So this is a super simple use case. I'm going to show you how to set this up. A lot of you may be familiar with this already with quick automations, but it's very easy to set up a mini chat, and I'll show you how to do that. And then we can go to the next slide. And then this one is a little bit more complicated, but this is what Gannon Meyer, who was also mentioned earlier in this presentation. I have my email address here. Feel free to reach out if you want to say hey. But this is me going through the automation that Gannon has set up, and it's a little bit more complicated, where instead of driving to a landing page where the person has to leave Instagram, go in, enter their email, subscribe to the terms and conditions, and submit. Instead, this one is saying, hey, like way more personal, right? Hey, what's your email address? Go ahead. I want to add you to a list. Like making sure you're saying that, like, hey, I'm using this information, you're subscribing. And then he's asking for my first name as well. And we actually have a direct integration with Kit when I'm going to show you how to set that up as well. And then basically it enables you to drive that email, add it to a form in Kit, and I go from getting my email in the DMs to then receiving an email in my inbox. So that's another layer. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. And if at any point the recording is going to be available, if at any point you feel overwhelmed and stuff, just remember that the first version, right, just to get started, like, hey, quick automations, boom, boom, set it up in 5 minutes. That made somebody $5 million. So that works as well. Gannon is really known for really powerful systems. But yeah, so I think we can go ahead and dive into the demo if that's okay. So I'll go ahead and share my screen here. 1 second. This is it. And then this is my Manychat account. It is a beautiful thing. This is my AI videos Instagram as well. I kind of insert it in every conversation, but as you can see, we're on the Manychat homepage. Right now we have, you can see on the bottom left of a lot of the templates, you're going to see quick automations. And then if I go to automation as well, and then go to new automation, you'll see quick automations, and then you'll see flow builder as well. And then if you go here to start from scratch, you'll also see start with a blank, and that's going to take you to the flow builder as well. So I'm going to show you both different ways, like the examples I showed you. But first, let's start with quick automations actually. So we'll go to quick automations. I'm gonna go through this pretty quickly because if you're already a Manychat user, you'll be familiar. I'm gonna say this is an animated video I made. Um, you can do, you basically select what post you want, you select what keyword, right? And I'm gonna add a call to action in my post saying, hey, comment, for in this instance, it'd be test, but you can say, hey, comment freebie, comment whatever, and then I'll send you an automation. I can click this to give public auto replies. So these are going to show publicly on my Instagram saying, hey, awesome. Thank you so much for the message. Check your DMs. We want to send an opening DM, and this is going to open it up. So if someone comments on your post, you're allowed to send them one message. But as soon as they click this button in your opening DM, it's going to open a 24-hour window, and that's going to enable you to follow up, send them more messages, offer stuff. So we don't want, obviously we don't want to spam them as much as possible just because they click this button. But it opens up a window where I now have 24 hours to follow up. So if I send them a message and then 5 hours later they haven't responded, I can say, "Hey, David, miss you. Hope you're doing well." Whatever I want to say. Did you see the link? So this is what Ali had set up here, which is a DM asking to follow you before they get the link, right? So, hey, send me a link. Awesome, send me the link. Hey, this link is only for my followers. Make sure you follow me. So then he'll leave, go click on my awesome account, follow it. He'll come back and push this button and say following. And then we can also do it asking for their email as well. That's not what Ali did. I'll save that for the next lesson. But this is this is an example that okay, now you're following. Awesome. And then I can say, thanks so much for the follow. Click the button below to subscribe to my newsletter. We'd add a link. Uh, Click here is the button label, and then it would be newsletter.com, right? This is basic. I'm showing this for people who may not be familiar with Manychat, but this is what generally I would assume a lot of people start with and have set up. And then we're going to have a follow DM if they don't click up, or follow up DM if they don't click the link. So awesome. And if they don't click the link, after some time, they'll receive, hey, miss you. Are you still curious? Then we can go up here and select go live. Awesome. So now, actually, if you guys go to my account and get tests, I will send you a link to my newsletter. But I'm going to stop this, and then I'm going to show you. So that's the first version. That's Ollie. That's V1. I'm going to show you what Gannon had it set up now. So we're going to go to settings, and then we're going to go to integrations, right? We have a whole bunch of integrations, but I want to show this one right now, Kit. Um, we're going to give you a free month of Kit for attending this webinar and giving us your time today. So you'll be able to test it out. You'll be able to access Kit right here. I would show you how to set up the integration, but that's going to give a lot of very valuable private data. So I won't do that. But just you can go in and set it up. We have a help desk article. All you have to do is set up a Kit account, get a special feature here, etc. So now that you have Kit integrated, we're going to go to automation. We're going to go to new automation, and we're going to go to start from scratch. Start with a blank. Awesome. So I'm going to set this up kind of quickly as well. Just I want to make sure we're getting to everything we have planned. But we're going to set this up. Hey, user sends me a message. Test. Awesome. Okay. So now when the user DMs me this message, they're going to get this, right? So like I said with the comment, if they're responding to a comment, Meta has different rules, so you'll have to make sure that you're giving an initial message first, saying that like, "Hey, thank you so much. Click this button or whatever." But now because they're sending a DM, that automatically opens the 24-hour rule. So now I have 24 hours to send them as many messages as I want. So it'll be a little bit simpler of a flow. But I'll say, "Hey there, thanks so much." Um, I'll add a delay. And then I'll go down to more and then do data collection. I'll say, what's that email? Because I'm an incredible copywriter, right? Just like that. So and you can change. So you would select data collection, and then it would say contacts reply. You would change it from text to email. And then you're going to have this set up. You don't have to worry about necessarily all of these. Basically, this is saying, hey, please enter a correct email address. So if somebody responds with like david@gmail.com or whatever, it would catch that and tell them to respond. Also gives them the option to skip. Unfortunately, as you know, you can't make somebody give you their information. And yeah, we want to make sure that we're saving the email to a system field and we're setting an email opt-in. And this part is where you just need to say, hey, by the way, you're going to be added to my email list, you're consenting to marketing, etc. So then, awesome. So what Gannon was actually doing was asking for a first name as well. So maybe we can try that first. First name, and then we'll change it to first name right here. And then it's the same thing, right? So now a couple of things. If contact has not responded, we're going to go here. You can also change this by selecting this right here. If contact has not responded, it's the same thing. We can set how long we want it to be. So we can say 30 minutes. We can say, just don't do it outside of 24 hours. You can say 30 seconds. Definitely don't recommend that. Give people some time. But we're going to go here. We're going to go to Instagram and say, hey, just curious. Can you send us your email? Obviously, please do better copywriting than me. You guys are creators. You know how to talk to your audience. But I would go here and add data collection again. If so, uh, can I have your first name or email or whatever? Basically, this is the automation that you'd set up. So this is a follow-up, and then you would want to make sure it matches the flow. So I'm asking for first name here. You want to also ask for first name here. I'm going to leave that for now. And then this is the important part, right? So after they give me their first name, I'm going to go here and go, awesome. And then I'll add a little delay too. It just makes it more human too. So email now. And then we'll go contact reply, right? Because I did data collection again. Contact reply is email. Save the email system field, set email opt-in. Awesome. So now they give me their email because I've asked so nicely. And then this is how you connect it to Kit, right? So I'm going to go action on reply. You can also do that from here as well. Perform actions, the same thing, right? You see how it connects it. So we're going to go action on reply. And then you're going to, after you connected Kit as an integration, you're going to see Kit right here. It's also, because I've done this several times, it's also under recently used. So you can do add contacts to form. And I've also gone in on my Kit account and set up a form, which is what Shiv's going to go over with you just after I'm done. But as you can see, these are all our options within Manychat for different actions we can take in Kit after somebody's given their email, right? So we're going to go add contact to form, form field email, and then Manychat form. And then it's also asking for a first name, right? Which is why I asked for first name first. So when someone asks, I'll do first name. And just to wrap up really quickly, when someone asks their first name, I'll say actions, we'll go contact data, set user field. Let's see, first name. I think it's a system field actually. I'm doing this on the fly, so give me 1 second here. Recently used set user field, add tag. Hmm. Okay. Oh, it's a bot field. I don't think this is right. Basically, I'll need to follow up. I'll make sure to follow up and show you how to add it in the first name. But ideally, you would add the person's first name into the contact form as well. And then voila. So once again, just to recap, we have the trigger right here. We engage the person, ask their first name, add the first name to our contact data. And then awesome, email now, add contact to a form. And then if they don't answer, we're following up. So yeah, that's quickly how you summarize it, and then we'll set live. It might have some issues. Yeah, we gotta remove this action. Awesome. And now it's live. So now I can set it so when someone's added to this form, we're basically sending them an email. So after somebody gives me their email, they're gonna receive an email in their inbox. So yeah, I appreciate it. And I can turn it back over to you, Shiv, if you wanna take over and add anything.
That's incredible. Yeah, and this is going to be a good basis for what I'm about to talk about here. If you don't mind letting me share my screen there, David.
Yes.
I have a hot take on the email side to talk about. So you guys just saw how we can go ahead and get that flow, and honestly, I'm seeing a lot of good questions here. I almost paused for questions here, but we do have a nice dedicated Q&A at the end, so we'll make sure that you guys get your questions answered there. Make sure you go ahead and use that Q&A box that we have in the webinar tool here. That'll help us, David and I, just figure out whose questions are where, since there's a lot of people in the room. Um, so we'll answer those at the end. But I have something here. So when people come in from Manychat and they subscribe, what a lot of people say, and I'm seeing this in chat, people are saying like, well, what do I do afterwards? What do I actually send them? A lot of people and a lot of creators think, well, it must be a newsletter, right? That's what I hear with emails all the time. Send the email newsletter. That's the strategy, right? Here's my hot take for you. Only a newsletter is not an email marketing strategy. Let me say that again. A newsletter is not an email marketing strategy. Most creators think that email equals sending a weekly email to everyone, right? One list, one message, one send button. That's a broadcast. That is not a strategy. A newsletter is a small piece of your larger email marketing strategy. There's a massive difference, like I said, between somebody who just found you yesterday and somebody who's bought from you 5 times. If both people get the exact same message, you're leaving money and connection on the table. And so email is not powerful because it lets you send. It's powerful because it lets you segment. And so that's why what we actually want is to write emails once and then send them forever automatically based upon what we know about subscribers. If somebody clicks on a topic about productivity, they should get more about productivity. If somebody buys your beginner course, they should not be getting beginner emails. Again, they should get the course emails. If somebody's brand new, they should be nurtured differently than your most loyal customer, right? And again, automation done wrong feels robotic. Automation done right feels like you're almost reading somebody's mind and giving them exactly what they want. And so, to answer the question I posed, a couple, 10 minutes ago, you don't have to uh, take your 500,000 person email list if you're Ali Abdal and just press send to everybody, with the same thing. You build smart systems once and you let their behavior decide what happens next by designing these journeys. And so again, ManyChat capturing that intent, using Kit to help personalize what they're going to receive via email. And so let's make this real for a second. One of the most common automations that we find every creator needs is very simple: a welcome sequence, right? How each new subscriber, when they land in your list, how they should intentionally be welcomed into your community. So let's look at what that means, right? A great welcome sequence doesn't just say, hey, thanks for joining. It sets the tone for your entire relationship, right? So, first of all, we should have some level of expectation setting in here, telling them what they're about to receive, how often you email, what kind of value you provide. Second, we should talk about some positioning, right? Why they should listen to you. What do you believe? What do you stand for? And then third, let's give them some kind of quick win, some kind of small action step, right? And then fourth, we should make sure, and this is really important, we want to understand what they actually want, right? You want clarity on who they are, that segmentation piece, the advantage of using email automation, right? We want to understand what they care about or what they struggle with, because the sooner you understand that, the sooner we can personalize. And so a great example of this is how Ali, tackles his welcome sequence, right? Ali asks very two simple questions, right? What is your primary focus in improving your productivity or improving your wealth, and what's holding you back? Is it a lack of accountability, or is it not knowing what to do? Right? It's as simple as that. And it's as simple as these two questions are. The data is incredibly valuable because in 2 clicks, he now knows what somebody wants and what problem they have. Right. So if I go ahead and just go over to Kit here, let me show you what this looks like in practice. When we think about an automation, every automation starts with some kind of doorway, some kind of way that we know this specific email address should be getting into this specific automation. Now, leveraging ManyChat, there's a lot of things that you can do to connect back over to Kit. You can say, because somebody gave me their email address inside of ManyChat, what do you want them to do in Kit? One of the most popular things you can do is you can say, hey, I want them to subscribe to a form. And so this is just a house, this start trigger here, this doorway. It's saying, hey, anybody who came from ManyChat, house them into here, right? We can even say specifically, where did they come from? That's what this second part here is doing. So this is getting everybody that comes from ManyChat. And then what we can do on top of that is we can set tags up based upon what is the specific thing that they asked for in Instagram, right? So in Instagram, here's my belief. I saw a couple people asking earlier, like, how should I actually? What is the strategy to get people to get onto my list? Here's what I would do via Instagram. I wouldn't let a social post go by that you post, a reel or a post on Instagram, where you don't have a very specific um, asset that you can give to your audience for free in exchange for their email address that will help them with a very specific uh, challenge that they have. And so, for example, if you have a guide that'll help teach them how to become more productive, but you also have a checklist that'll help them teach them how to build more wealth, right? Yes, a lead magnet, exactly. Whoever said that in the chat, a lead magnet. I would go ahead and make sure that every post has a lead magnet attached to it. And what you can do in Kit is not only can you go ahead and make sure that everyone's funneled into this specific area, right, that they subscribe from ManyChat, but we can make sure that we understand which one they came from, right? And we can tag them accordingly there. And so based on that, we can make sure we get the right follow up and the right email to them based on what they got. These would be delivering those lead magnets here. And then here we can go ahead and see that welcome sequence that I just talked about. And so if we open up that email, that's where we can do so many different personal things via email. Now, the one that I really want to highlight here is the polling feature that I just talked about. Inside a Kit, you can natively go ahead and showcase these questions, these interactive polls where people can go ahead and select options. And again, it's all about understanding the data and housing that data on people's profiles so that you can build the pathways for them. And so when somebody answers that their primary focus is wealth or productivity, or if somebody answers what's holding them back from improving, is it a lack of accountability or not knowing what to do? Depending on how people answer here, we can go ahead and house that information inside of Kit and make sure that we get them on the right path here. Now, not only is this important to do in the very first email, but we can see that we can create email sequence, right? You can see that there's these 1 day wait periods between these. So we can go ahead and send 3 emails over the course of 3 days, right? Or we can go ahead and change out the number of days between each email. But through this email and through the sequence, we can start to really make sure that we send the right call to action to the right person. So another thing that I wanted to cover here, something that you can do via Kit. I know some people are saying, "Hey, you were going through quite quickly." I'll be honest. The goal of what I would love for you all today understand is what you can do. And if you understand what you can do, then I'm happy to go through, and we have so many resources on how to do it and how to build it. And so if you join us in our community here in Kit, we have plenty of workshops and content to help you understand how to implement this. But what you can do here is you can take the information that I just showed you. So again, whether they went through the productivity versus wealth, if that's their primary focus, and then what's holding them back, is it accountability or not knowing what to do? And we can say, well, depending on the combination of these two things, what is the next step for them? What is the next step for that person, right? If somebody is, say, their problem is accountability and they are trying to focus on productivity, right? Their challenge is productivity and their problem is a lack of accountability. This product that Ali has, Life OS Pro, that's perfect for you because it's this community of people that, it's a membership based community, gives you accountability frameworks, support systems to help you turn vision into action and resolution into results. But if your productivity and you just don't know what to do, well, then just simply Life OS is great. It's his flagship course that teaches you how to create the vision and implement systems. Now, conversely, if your goal is to build wealth and you are struggling with accountability, his part-time YouTuber Academy is a great place for you to understand and have a community of people to be accountable to. And again, if it's wealth and not knowing what the next step is, he has this great product for you called the 7-day video challenge, right? So we have the right next step for people based upon what we understand about them. And so in here inside a kit, what you can do is there's this feature underneath personalization that you can leverage where you can essentially say, based upon the information that I know about somebody, what dynamic link should be shown to them inside of an email. This is saying, hey, if the tag says improving my productivity, here's what I want them to see. If it says improving my wealth, here's what I want them to see. And so we can really be very, very specific on what the next step is for a specific person based upon what they've told us and the information that we've learned about them. Now, I did say that the newsletter is still part of your email marketing strategy. It's just not the entire email marketing strategy. And so when I said that, what I mean is that not everybody is going to tell you exactly what they want out of you. It'd be great if they did. If everybody told me that, okay, it's accountability and productivity, great. I know exactly what the next step is. But some people might not tell me anything. And that's where I think a newsletter is really, really powerful because there is going to be a big pool of people that don't tell you the information. And then number two, you don't exactly know when they actually want to move forward. And so what's the best way to handle a group of people like that? Let's consistently drive value to those people. Let's be in their inbox and send them that weekly newsletter and give them really great tips and really great content that they love to read and become one of their favorite email newsletters. And yes, eventually when they go ahead and read that and they come to the decision for themselves that, oh, I do need to work on my productivity. I do want to increase my wealth. And I do think that there's something here with Ali that he can help me with. Well, then the newsletter is going to become a great path for you to ask those same questions and get them to the right product. So to me, again, when we think about this, marketing really at its core comes down to a very simple yes or no path. That's what automation is. It's just constantly asking yes or no paths, right? People come in via Manychat. We give them this great welcome sequence. It's did they or did they not tell us what they want out of us? If they did, get them there. If they didn't, send them to the newsletter. Now, again, in the next step, if we're trying to now get them to buy Life OS Pro or the YouTuber Academy, maybe we're sending them into a sales sequence, right? And so in the sales sequence, it's the same thing. We send this great email copy and we say yes or no, a yes or no question. Did you or did you not buy the product? And if yes, send you the right email sequence. If no, send you the right email sequence, right? That's what this is all about. And you can see that that's really easy to do in Kit to create these paths where you can go ahead and build emails down each one of these sequences. Now, I know what we're thinking about. I just want to double down on the newsletter strategy here. This is not a copywriting workshop specifically, but I did want to just give you a little bit of copy tips and tricks here while we're on the topic here. So I think what's important here to think about when you're thinking about the copy of your sales sequences or of your newsletter, it's important for us to consistently have that singular call to action via email. And then that's what's really going to help us understand and make it very dynamic of yes or no, did they or did they not do it, right? Did they or did they not click the link here that indicates that they're interested? Did they or did they not buy the product? And what we'll do that is if we have that consistent call to action in our emails. And then again, when we're talking about that pathway of people that go down the newsletter, I always level a soft sell within the really valuable content that we're sending there. So for me and my advice to you all, the next step that I would advise here is to go ahead and think through after people go ahead and dive into one of your, so think through the content you're posting on social, always connect that back to some level of a lead magnet, some piece of value. In that piece of value, connect that over to Kit, right? So collect that via Manychat, collect the email, send them over to Kit, and let's make sure we first deliver that piece of value. Let's deliver that lead magnet via email. And then once you go through there, we can go ahead and send the email to them of that welcome sequence, right? It's all about building this really intelligent email funnel so that we can go ahead and constantly understand what people are interested in and deliver them the right value. So I hope that helped you guys out. happy to take some questions here. Feel free to surface those over. David and I will do our best to answer those. While you all are asking those questions, David and I do want to just give you guys a little sneak preview at that fun bonus that David touched on earlier. So the first thing is, yes, everybody here, because you attended this workshop, we are going to give you a full 30 days to try out Kit, to understand how these sequences work for you, how you can go ahead and connect ManyChat over and build build these funnels. And so again, this is not something you can find on kit.com right now. If you go there, this is something you can only get because you all were here today. So definitely take advantage of that. We're going to have that in the emails. And I believe we have a link as well that we can send y'all in the chat here as well. And so we have that. And then the other two things that we have for you, number one, uh, we get a chance at Kit to speak to and learn from some of the most successful creators in the world. Right, we have a team of people that get to speak one on one with them and help build their strategy. And so one thing we did recently is we took all the strategies that we've learned from all these professional creators and packaged them into this incredible guide of the top 10 list growth strategies that have worked for professional creators. And so when you do go ahead and create your account, we're also going to drop you that playbook of the top 10 list growth strategies that have worked for professional creators. And then the second thing that we have here is we partnered with Manychat and us here at Kit. We partnered together to build the automation playbook of how you can go ahead and connect these two tools together and what you should do on the Kit and the Manychat side because of that. And so I know for some of you, there's a lot of comments I saw in the chat of how does this actually work? Can we slow down a little bit? Totally understand if this feels a little scary at the beginning. I promise you that we have more education for you to go ahead and learn how to implement this. And it's a lot less scary than it looks. But to make it even less scary than that, with this automations playbook, I promise you this is going to make it real simple for you to go ahead and implement on the Kit side what automations you need to learn and implement. And then on the Manychat, the education you need to go ahead and connect people over to Kit. So with that, let's go ahead and take a couple questions, David.
Yeah, before questions, I just want to thank you so much, Shiv, for all the knowledge you just dropped. I mean, I know you worked so hard on this with us, so I just want to have everybody say thank you and to really appreciate all your time. This was super informative for me as well.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Um, let's see. I see one here. Just Arvid is asking, how does the add tag option work for Kit? I'm working to target my leads better, so they're opted into a specific list in my email marketing platform. But if I add the action to tag them in ManyChat, how do I add that tag in Kit? So what you can do, and David, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but in ManyChat, you can go ahead and set what's based on the specific DM automation that people are coming in from. You can set what the tag should be applied to for the people that come in from that specific ManyChat automation, and they
Yeah.
will
Do you
come.
mind if I share my screen really quick and I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
just
go for it. Go for it.
awesome. So I saw your question earlier and I actually went to check. Um, so for your question, it would just be under actions and you could do add action, kit, add tag. And then I don't think yeah, awesome. So this is the tag I have available. So you'd have to set the tag in kit first, make sure that's available. And once that's saved, you would just add the tag under actions in ManyChat. And then last thing too, I did look and apparently if you ask someone's first name, it'll automatically save it as a system field. So you're good to go. So nothing else is required there.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
I see somebody asking just about kit pricing and how much kit is. I see a couple questions around that. I'll quickly just show you. If you go to kit.com/pricing, you'll be able to see how our pricing changes and is tiered based upon the number of subscribers that you have. And so, there's a couple different tools or plan types that we have based on what you're looking for. And then again, based on the email subscribers you have as well. And then we can go ahead and see how many that which plan type is going to be best for you and what the monthly cost would be.
sweet. And then let's go find another one.
Can I actually ask a question that's been coming a little bit like frequently? Sorry to interrupt you both, and thank you so much. How can you, without being like annoying or, out of nowhere, like get consent that you are actually like be explicit around like they should expect an email from you. What is like the good practices should maybe like you could share from your end?
Yeah, as far as consent goes, so the most important thing is to honestly make sure that people understand and know that they're going to be part of your email list, and that it's all about making sure you have an upfront contract with them to say this is what to expect from me. That's the name of the game here. um and so making sure that like that piece can be delivered via for you, David. I think on the Manychat side, it can probably be delivered via there on like, okay, now
Mhm.
that you've subscribed, here's what you can expect from us. Here's how often we're going to email you, or here's what you're going to have in your email inbox. The other aspect that really helps here on the kit side is when somebody comes in through this form and you automatically have them subscribe to this form because of they came from ManyChat. One thing that you can do is you can have this email automatically go out that helps confirm their subscription. Helps confirm their subscription. That says, hey, thanks so much for signing up. Just want to make sure, click below if you want to just confirm that you do want to receive emails from me. This is actually something that is mandatory if you are in certain regions of the world. Like I know we have a lot of people from Europe here who are asking about GDPR. Having this double opt-in and having this incentive email turned on is important and mandatory to be compliant there. And so having
Mhm.
that enabled is really going to help protect you and your deliverability to make sure you always have a list of people that are engaged and want to receive from you. Now, one thing I'll say that a lot of people don't do but should do is you can go in and change this double opt-in email to be of your brand and your voice. You can change the button copy of this to be aligned to the lead magnet that they asked for. So you can still make sure that this is a warm email, right? That whole thing I said of automation done wrong feels cold and robotic. To me, this is cold and robotic. So we can still have double opt in and stay compliant while still making it a very warm experience by going in and changing what this email is to be of our brand voice. Oh, this whole
Mhm.
time I wasn't even sharing my screen. I'm so sorry. I was walking through all this and I'm like, thinking that you just see what I'm seeing. So again, what I was just saying here is underneath this form that people are coming in from ManyChat, we can go ahead and change right here what the actual confirmation email is. By default, it looks like this. Important, confirm your subscription. Thanks for signing up. Confirm your subscription here. We can again change this to be our brand voice, our brand tone, our brand colors, and make sure it's aligned to what we feel and see.
Love that. And yeah, and just on the same end, on the mini chat end, it's gonna be like, hey, awesome. Do you have a guide I can send it to you? And then by the way, like I don't spam you. Curious if you're, whatever, like you just said, like whatever authentic language that you would use if you're talking to a person one-on-one, but just want to share like, hey, I would add you to my email list or something like that. Add that in the DMs as well when you're asking for that person's email. That's gonna like you said too, that's gonna help you out too. That's gonna make you compliant. That's gonna increase your like domain reputability so people aren't blocking you or adding you as spam or anything. So it's beneficial for both parties.
Yeah. I'm going to take this question and answer all the questions that relate to this. Even though I can't possibly like cover all of them, I'm going to do my best to do that. I see Irina was asking, hey, what is the value of Kit over insert email, other email platform here? In her case, you said Squarespace email system, but I saw that some people asked like of other email tools as well. So without going like specifically onto each individual email tool and how Kit compares to each one of them. Well, here's the what I'll say on a high level. Number one, when we're talking about like the tier of simple email tools, Kit is a level above that because of that pathway of being able to make sure you understand what the right message is for the next person leveraging automation, right? The goal and at the heart of what we do being, hey, let's go ahead and understand what data points that somebody has, and then ensuring that you can dynamically give them the right next step and product and like cultivating those paths. That's what makes Kit extremely powerful. But we know that your business uh needs a lot of power, but you want simple tools to do it. And so that's the other half of it. I might come from it might sound like I come from a biased place being the guy here representing Kit, but I can tell you out of the thousands and thousands of creators that leverage Kit from our community, we're consistently told how much Kit is built for creators and how simple it is to use because of that. The truth is that without going through like a whole soap opera of the backstory of Kit, we're a company founded by creators. Our CEO himself wasn't a tech CEO or a tech guy at his core. He was a creator building ebooks and building blog articles, and said, "Hey, there's no email tool on the market right now that does what I want to do, that does it for creators. And so I want to build it just so I can use it for my creator business." And we kind of stumbled into now what has become an incredible platform for creators and making it more and more thoughtful for creators. So even with him, all the way to the people that we hire, we are always thinking about what specifically do creators need inside of email. And so that's why, from someone like me, when I come from like all these email tools that I've worked for and worked in, like I said at the top, it is incredible when I see the tools that Kit chooses to prioritize, because they do actually tend to be quite specific and intentional compared to a lot of email tools, because we know exactly who we're building for. We're building for those creators. And so you'll see that through the community and people that use Kit, and the events and webinars and education we have. And you'll see that in the platform as well, through the features we build, like automations that I've shown here.
Hmm. Absolutely love that. And then just to echo, like we really were excited to do this webinar because of all the knowledge that you have, like around different creator workflows, how to use email specific for creators, because it looks completely different for a million other companies that may be using it. So I think the knowledge that you demonstrated here was really valuable, and then hope that communicates the value for Kid as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And before we log off, I do want to say, where can people go if they want to learn more, if they want to have a step-by-step guide? We have these playbooks as well, but what resources are good on Kit's end to if people want to go and step by step set up their first welcome sequence or something like that?
Yeah. So when you do join, you create that new account for Kit, we have a couple of cool things. We have an academy where we have a great place to start. We have this course, Kit 101, that's great. Um, we have lots of great events and webinars that we'll definitely send to you via email, that will be coming up, that you guys can leverage as well to learn more. But then even like I do want to highlight in some of these playbooks here that we have. These are one click get an automation into your account templates. Like these are like click a button and instantly get the template into your account. And to go further than that, if you go through and go to visual automations, and again, I understand if you have anxiety of like, oh my goodness, Shiv, like what did you just show us today? Like, how do I even start to build that automation that you showed us? If you go to templates here on the right hand side, there's tons and tons of those pre-built automations and templates. And if you scroll all the way to the bottom, right there, Manychat lead magnet delivery. This is a great template to leverage and use for your business. If you just click on use this template, it'll instantly copy a template of this automation to your account, and it makes it so that you can instantly dive into say, okay, what is the lead magnet? Let me go ahead and change that out. And we already have some copy arranged for you here to go ahead and leverage. And then what is the copy for the welcome sequence as well? And so if anywhere to start, I would go through and start here with this template here. Maybe one thing that I would add to this is, you have the lead magnet delivery. Maybe just add a sequence for your welcome sequence down here, by just hitting the plus button and saying I want to send emails. And what is the emails called? Let me call it a welcome. But yeah, this is a great template to go ahead and get started with. And again, we have that also in the guide that we're going to send you.
Awesome. So awesome. So incredible. And then on the mini chat end as well, if I went a little bit too fast on my end, we have a really awesome YouTube channel you're gonna see my face again, unfortunately, but it will be there. So if we have mini chat 101, so connecting your account, setting up your first automation, stuff like that, we have that available. Do you want to end up with this last question? Shiv, I'm gonna read this to you and then I can pitch in, but I would love to hear your opinion.
Yeah.
My one question is on positioning. Let's say that I create a reel about a topic, use the
Mm-hmm.
mini chat kit automation with a freebie and or welcome sequence to deliver on the topic discussed in the reel. What do I do if I want my newsletter to be about several topics and has little to do with the original reel email sequence? Could that lead to unsubscribes or these original subscribers feeling that the newsletter is irrelevant to them?
So the question is, if you are creating content around one topic via Instagram,
Mhm.
collecting the email address based upon that specific reel, and then your content is about something completely different, um, you're worried about the like those subscribers retaining.
Yes.
I'm gonna answer this in two ways. I'm aligned. I think that your content should be ideally following some the ideal pathway is that we do have this very linear pathway of the content that we're creating via Instagram relates to the content that we're going to be creating via email, and that we have this harmony, right? I'm like you saw in that first slide. I'm super interested in Green Day, Marvel, and the Chicago Bears. If the Chicago Bears create this reel and they say, hey, like learn who we might be drafting in our next draft and comment this below, and I commented, and all of a sudden via email I'm getting like emails about like you know the NBA because they're like, well, you like sports, right? So here's some basketball content. I am going to feel some level of friction here. That's not the right message to the right person at the right time, thinking about email automation. And so I do think that fundamentally we do want to align this strategy to make sure the content is relevant. Now, I will say, if I had a sports company and I said, hey, I send out about all types of sports. I am a sports media company. I'm not the Chicago Bears, but instead, I'm sorry to keep using that example. I know we have a worldwide audience, but they're a football team in America. But if I have a sports company where I send out about all sorts of sports, then I might use that first lead magnet to say, hey, you might be interested in the Chicago Bears. Go ahead and get this lead magnet to know who the Chicago Bears might be drafting. And in that, first email that they receive, the lead magnet, I will give them the Chicago Bears draft guide. But then in the next email, that welcome series that I showed you with Ali, I might say, hey, by the way, I am a Chicago media sports media company and I sent out about all sorts of stuff. What kind of things are you interested in? Are you interested in basketball? Are you interested in football, baseball, cricket, soccer? Sorry, football, right? We should call football actual football. The Europeans are right about it. That's my take. But I'll ask all those questions because yeah, they deserve to have multiple pathways based on what they tell me, and that's where then I can serve you in multiple ways, right? And I can show you later on when you join the Kit community how you can do that in a non-overwhelming way. Where if somebody selects 6 different options that they want to hear from you, how do we make sure that they don't feel overwhelmed via email? How do we take that and insert that into one specific email, but multiple, make sure we call out multiple areas that they might be interested in, or do we want to segment that out via email? All those are fair questions, and we can talk through the strategy of. But I do think fundamentally we want to be serving content that people are asking for and that they want. And even if we have multiple content options, that we survey people and understand what they want and still make it very intentional on what they get.